What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar Flags here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today is another episode of my series Ask the Fans, where I ask the fans a question on my community page and I get them the opportunity to vote and reply. I do this series to share other people's opinions and see what the majority of people think rather than one, two, or a little group of people. So today's question is, what is the best amusement park manufacturer in the world? There are hundreds, if not thousands of manufacturers across the world that make different amusement park rides to satisfy different groups of people. Roller coaster manufacturers around the world compete to make the biggest and best roller coasters on the planet, and amusement parks choose these manufacturers based off of the current reputations they have with them. If they see good track records at other parks, they would try a shot out with them. Some manufacturers are also more expensive, more reliable, more compact, more spread out, and etc. There are a lot of different factors that go into comparing and contrasting different manufacturers, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But I would say currently in the industry, the three top dogs are Bolliger & Mabillard, also known as B&M, Intamin Amusement Rides, and RMC, otherwise known as Rocky Mountain Construction. I also put the other category down just so if other people have an opinion, they could state it down in the comments below and have a percentage in the vote. So, without further ado, let's ask the fans what is the best manufacturer and see which one came out on top. Yes, let's get to the polls. Well, let me first say, thank you guys so much for the insane success of this one especially. It had over 400 votes in the first 24 hours, which is absolutely insane, and I did not know that this series would blow up to the point where it did. So, let's look at the results. Our final results say that this has 768 votes as the time I'm editing this video, with B&M coming off at 26%, Intamin coming off at 43%, RMC coming off at 23%, and other coming at 8%, showing that Intamin is the true winner of this poll. And it's not by a little, it's honestly by a landslide. Almost half of the people, well, they voted for Intamin. With B&M, we have a little more than a quarter voting for that manufacturer, which I could easily see. But I was honestly expecting a lot more than 26% to go B&M's way. Rocky Mountain Construction is pretty close to B&M despite it being much newer than B&M. And RMC has 23% on the board, and finally Other has 8% on the board, which is less than a tenth of all the people who voted. Out of the 768 who have voted, 106 of them have made replies in the comments below, so let's get right to them. I got 6 replies that I want to show all of you, and I want to talk about the ones that focus on each of the major ones, so I will be doing 2 for each major manufacturer. So, since Intamin is the clear winner of this poll, I want to focus on Intamin first. So, let's look at these 2 replies that focus on Intamin and voted for Intamin. Let's see their reasons why Intamin came out on top. The first reply I want to talk about is from Snapback Grandma, and they say, well, Intamin rides are somewhat unreliable, their rides are always top tier and very unique from the norm. Look at rides like Skyrush, Millennium Force, Superman the Ride, Expedition G-Force, etc. All of these rides are absolute top tier attractions, and that's scratching the absolute surface. Intamin has an absolute plethora of amazing and unique attractions all across the world, as they continue to innovate and show off their amazing creations all across the globe. Well, one con that they definitely recognize in this comment is that they are somewhat unreliable, which is something I will get to later with B&M. The other reply I want to look at in favor of Intamin is 5-Knack, which I refuse to think isn't pronounced snack, so I'm just going to call you Snack from now on. Snack says, Intamin rides are usually smooth and intense, with unique elements. I like the mix of airtime and bone-crushing G's many Intamin rides deliver, as well as some truly intense launches. So, Snack is looking at the intensity factor of these Intamin rides. If you ride something like a B&M, you might not experience something as intense as something on an Intamin. Rides like Maverick, Skyrush, I-305, Formula Rosa, these rides have some pretty intense elements on it, and they deliver some insane experiences that are rarely delivered from other manufacturers. When it comes to intensity and the overall quality of some of these rides, Intamin does seem like it comes on top. Intamin does definitely like to take risks though, and when it comes to Intamin rides, they have some great quality attractions as well as some flops. All of Intamin's good quality attractions though at times can be unreliable, and looking at that, there are other manufacturers that excel in reliability as opposed to Intamin. And one of those manufacturers that absolutely excels in transitions and reliability is Bolliger and Mabillard, a company introduced in the late 1980s and started making coasters in the early 1990s. This company is known for being one of the most reliable manufacturers of all time and is a pretty expensive pick, but usually a bigger chain park's number one choice due to the reliability and the maintenance over time. So with B&M, we are going to do the same exact thing and look at two replies about the B&M factor. So Coaster Countdowns is in favor of B&M because they don't make any bad rides and they have a large variety of rides on sale, and all of them which are made to the highest quality and offer great experiences. And that is definitely true when it comes to most circumstances. If you are a very expensive company and you want to buy a good and reliable inverted coaster to please the general public, then B&M is probably most likely the way to go. It pleases everyone, including the GP and enthusiasts, and is a great experience. The other reply is by Theme Parks Rock, a very direct username that is definitely true. B&M for me. Their rides are almost always smooth and reliable, and they are good rides, and they never disappoint in my opinion. So as you can see, B&M is definitely known for their reliability and how loyal they can be to their customers. I mean, B&M is a great manufacturer, and when it comes to the most safe choice, B&M is definitely there. Scratching the surface and not looking too much into it, B&M definitely looks like the perfect manufacturer. But at the same time, it does seem like most of the time they are picking low-hanging fruit and not taking too many risks. It seems like they're going with what they know and going the more traditional route as opposed to taking risks. This is why when you see a park that wants to break a few records, maybe have a record-breaking coaster, they're going to go to RMC and Intamin for those records. But if they're going to make a new coaster that they just want to please people and is a traditional layout, well, they're going to go right to B&M. And when B&M's open, they please a lot of people will love it, the GP and enthusiasts alike, and everyone will be happy at the end. But when it comes to taking risks, Intamin and Rocky Mountain Construction are the ones to go. In any entertainment industry, including the music and movie industries, you see a bunch of people going the artistic route that might not be as popular, but then you see people going the generic route. B&M seems like the one that goes the generic route and goes for the most people-pleasing attractions. Finally, we go to Rocky Mountain Construction, and we are going to look at two replies. Once again, we have our first from Alex Snyder, and he says, they changed the industry dramatically and manufactured my all-time favorite coaster, Steve, which is short for Steel Vengeance, the Cedar Point Hyper Hybrid, which is also my favorite coaster. The final reply in this video is by Ari Reddy, and they say, I say RMC because their rides have changed the industry. You can see Intamin and B&M trying to use the elements that they have created, and they make some of the very best coasters for their price. They always make people's top coaster lists and have so much airtime and many, many unique elements. And that is the point that I am about to go to. Just like the rides from Intamin, it may not be a GP's favorite roller coaster, but when it comes to enthusiasts, it tops their list almost every time. Rides like Lightning Rod, Zadra, Steel Vengeance, Storm Chaser, Twisted Timbers, Wicked Cyclone, all of these rides make top 10 lists all over the world. And looking at these rides, it's pretty easy to see why. First of all, when it comes to a park standpoint, it would be the best choice because they are a lot cheaper than B&M or Intamin. If you're a smaller park, RMC is definitely the way to go. And besides that, they also have came up with some pretty weird and new elements. When you see B&M going with Loop after Corkscrew after Zero G Roll, you see RMC coming up with new names for elements every single coaster they put out with. I mean, what on earth is a twist and shout or an off-axis airtime hill or a step-up underflip? I mean, the normal person would not know what these elements are, but Rocky Mountain Construction has perfected them. They've came out with one of my favorite elements of all time, the outward bank turn, and they are still coming to this day. RMC is definitely good when it comes to overall quality, and all of their rides so far have delivered top-notch experiences that may be the best or second best in their parks. Well, those are the three manufacturers that I wanted to focus on. There were some other manufacturers listed like GCI, the Gravity Group, and Gerstlauer, but there weren't as many people following those manufacturers as the big three. But anyway, what's your favorite manufacturer? This is Cedar Flags, and I will see you all later.